Hey everybody, welcome back to Awaken the Wonder. I am your host, Caleb Wampler, and I am excited for today's episode. If you are watching online today in any capacity, YouTube or Facebook or in any way, you're going to immediately notice that today's episode is a little bit different. You may be wondering, why is there a picture of a dog unicorn sitting on the table? Why are there tablets and why are there coin jars and different things? This is going to be probably the most interesting episode that we have ever shot in all of our 560 episodes. And the reason is, today we've got some special guests on the set. My two oldest kids are joining my wife and I, and you're going to be hearing from them in just a minute. Today's episode, we're going to be talking about the subject of finances with your kids. And we've done a few things over the years, and we haven't gotten it right all the time. But about probably 8 months ago, we started a journey with our kids that has turned into quite the journey of fun and has been teaching them about the world of money. So I encourage you guys to go ahead and join us to have some fun today on the video experience. If you're not seeing this and you're not sure what's going on because you're listening on audio, that's okay, but go back and look at the video version. You can see the link there in the show notes. Today is going to be a fun episode, raw, uncut, unedited, from the mouth of children. So here we go. This is going to be a fun episode. I also, before we get too far, make sure you guys like, subscribe, leave ratings wherever you're listening, wherever you're watching, and would love to have you guys just be a part of this show every single week. We bring great content every single week at the same time, and wherever you're watching or listening, be sure to check back at the same time next week. I want to show, before we get too far in today, we have an upcoming amazing series we're doing on the fruit of the Spirit. We are on the subject of faithfulness. So I hope you guys will join us. Check this video out real quick. Carlos, why don't you roll that? Hey everybody, Caleb Wampler here. I'm excited to invite you to the next webinar in our series on the fruits of the Spirit. This September 21st at 8 p.m., we are going to be talking about the fruit of faithfulness. This is an amazing, amazing fruit that comes from the life of the believer. And if you can get this one down, it will change everything about your life with not only your family, the people around you, your friends, but even your enemies. The Lord loves to use this fruit of faithfulness. It's a powerful weapon in your arsenal and a tool that God can use powerfully in your life. I look forward to talking about it deeply with you. Join us on September 21st, and we'll see you guys there. Go to kingdomencounters.us/webinar today. Register. It's absolutely free, but we look forward to gathering together and going deeper on this subject. I'll see you guys there. Be sure to go to kingdomencounters.us/webinar and you can register today. It's been an amazing series so far. You don't want to miss it. Faithfulness is next. So I want to have my kids join me here in just a moment. And this is going to be a pretty fun part of the episode. Before they join us here, I just want to briefly share a couple of things scripturally, and then we'll dive into the very practical episode that we're going to be doing today. Here in the book of Proverbs, chapter 22, verse 6, it says, "Direct your children onto the right path, and when they are older, they will not leave it." We hear this scripture often talked about in terms of raising your kids in the way of the Lord, in terms of making sure they're in church every single week, making sure they have the right friends, making sure they're surrounded by good decision makers and good people. And all of these things are very true. But I've thought back in the subject of money, as I myself grew up essentially uneducated in my own way. I did the best I could. My parents did the best they could. People around us did the best they could. But this world of money is so often not taught. In fact, in all of my years of high school, I never remember one financial course of any kind that I took growing up. Going back to my college years and all of my years at a Christian university, I don't remember any financial courses being talked about in any single way. And yet, the bedrock of everything in society is that we have to have money to do anything. We need hundreds of thousands of dollars every single year for our crusade budgets to take the gospel around the world. I didn't know what that was. I've seen the subject of prosperity mindset and poverty mindset, of those who have too much and those who don't have enough, and those who think they need to act poor in order to be more spiritual, and those who are living the high life with money, ready to bless all the time. And you see all the extremes of this world, but the subject of kids, money, it's not really talked about. My wife and I, just to kind of be completely transparent, we found ourselves $75,400 in debt back in 2012. We were looking at the subject of finances. We were very, very struggling very much. We were working I was working 3 jobs just to try to survive. I had graduated with my degree, but just was making nothing. And we had our school loans from our university, and about 80-90% of the debt was from our universities. But we also had a few credit cards as well. And that's when we stumbled upon Dave Ramsey. Now, if those who don't know Dave Ramsey, he talks about Financial Peace University. He does a lot of different things. And he's very famous for the baby steps that are part of getting out of debt specifically, but also then to go further on as well. I'm just going to focus on some of the very beginning stages of that today, but he focuses on making sure you're getting out of debt and to get the debt snowball going. And so when you get your emergency fund, you put $1,000 in it, and then the next phase is, hey, we need to get your debt out of your life. And so my wife and I started to do that. And you start with the smallest payment, and then the next, and the next, and the next, and you knock out one at a time, the smallest. And then the monthly payments start to become this giant snowball that are rolling down a hill until you start knocking out all your debts. Well, we did this journey for years, and we were able to pay off all $75,400 of that debt. It was a very, very exciting day for us. We were going to celebrate and go to Israel to celebrate that we'd gotten debt free. And then the world happened as we know it with COVID, and we weren't able to actually do that. But a few years later, we finally made that happen just this year, and we got to have an amazing experience in Israel. Before I get too far in and go into this next subject here, I would love for you guys to check out our upcoming trip to Israel. We're going to be going back this coming in March, and we're going to be taking about 40 people with us. I hope that you'll join us, Harmonee and I, Joshua and Alicia, and our whole team in Israel. Carlos, why don't you roll that?
Hey everybody, this is Evangelist Caleb Wampler. I'm coming to you from the nation of Israel, and I'm here in Bethlehem right now at the birth of Jesus and his wonderful birthplace. We're so excited to invite you to join us in Israel March 5th through 14th of 2024. I'm going to be coming back here to Israel with my wife Harmonee, with Joshua and Alicia Smith, with a number of people all across the United States, and we would love to invite you to join us right here. I hope that you'll take the time to do that, to join us and have a wonderful time visiting the Holy Land, seeing the places where Jesus walked, seeing the places where people have had so many amazing moments through the history of the Bible. It will come to life like never before. I hope that you'll take the time to join us. It's going to cost $4,500 at the starting point. You can go to kingdomencounters.us/Israel and learn more information today. Pay attention to the payment deadlines as well. And you can also save some money if you register at certain deadlines. So make sure you read all the stuff on the website. It's all right there. I'm so looking forward to having you join me and Harmonee here in Israel, March 2024. God bless you guys here from Israel.
So I hope that you'll take some time to join us in Israel, kingdomencounters.us/Israel, and do it today. It is going to be an amazing trip. We only have space for a few people left, And remember how I told you earlier, this was going to be a very special episode. Again, if you're watching visually, you're going to see the unicorn dog, the Hot Wheels cars. You're going to see different toys and tablets and money jars. This is going to be some of the fun of today's episode. And with that said, my wife, Harmonee, is in the studio. She is part of this episode as we're going to talk about some of the kids and parenting and money. So welcome, Harmonee. Hey, Harmonee, how you doing?
Yes, it's good to be back.
Yeah, I'm excited that you're here today because you're coming out from behind the house and the duties at home and coming onto the screen today. So it's an exciting day for sure. And as you'll see, we're going to see our kids here in just a moment. But as we were talking about with Israel, that was a really defining moment for us, finally getting our debt freedom celebration. We do have the debt on our home that we're faithfully paying off for hopefully not too long, but for a period of time. But with that said, it was a crazy stretch of almost a decade. Mm-hmm. What was that season like for you trying to get out of debt?
Yeah, just that constant weight of just having that still hanging over your head. But I remember every time we got one off, we were so excited. We'd celebrate and we'd burn the bill or paper to show that and just to celebrate. And so every time another one bit the dust, so to say, we were pretty excited and just nice to not have that weight.
Yeah, it was a lot of weight too. I remember a lot of hard moments in there. I cried tears, if I'm just being honest. The pressure, the pain of those moments. It was hard. Mm-hmm. There was a lot of moments where we had to say no to things that we wanted to say yes to. Yeah. We couldn't go to certain things that other people went to. Mm-hmm. We had to avoid the fun pleasures of life for quite a while, so to speak, just because we couldn't make it. Do you remember anything that stuck out to you from that season while we were trying to get debt free?
I just remember having a lot of financial talks and just trying to figure out, and I think that was kind of stuck out the most, is just trying to finagle and figure out, okay, how are we going to pay this and that, and just the stress of that, just all of that really sticks out. But just to not have that anymore is so great. And now our conversations don't have to dwell on, okay, how are we going to pay this? How are we going to make it work this month? Now it can be, how can we dream for the future and planning financially and saving up for things rather than trying to pay off debt.
Yeah, no, it's a beautiful transition, and getting to celebrate in Israel with you, that was one of the highlights of my life. I've been in 35 plus countries traveling around the world, but that trip is like, it's got to be number one, or it's just like the moment of, we did it. Yes. Celebration. And just kind of reflecting on that, I love my parents, you love your parents, we love our families. Both pastors, both did their best. We never lacked anything. Right. But certainly weren't flowing in resources, so to speak. Right. But they always made a way and took care of us, everything we needed. Most of my friends, like, barely making it through, just kind of surviving, getting by. As a kid, outside of maybe doing an allowance chart or something occasionally to try to earn $1, or to maybe try to learn tithing. My parents taught me tithing even from an early age. If you make $1, don't give a dime. Yeah. But do you really remember anything from your childhood about learning about money, like how to do money and how to have money as a part of your life?
Yeah, I don't remember a whole lot other than just saving up. My parents were savers and believed in doing that, and so I did learn that, but I don't remember having like lessons or certain things. But I do remember babysitting once a week and saving all my money so I could pay for my camp in the summer. So I do remember that, but that was kind of the extent of financial.
Yep. And for me, I remember by the time I was about maybe 11 or 12, my dad, he said, well, if you want to be able to go to youth camp, then, here's a lawnmower, here's a gas can. You got to pay for the gas out of the profits, and you can push this lawnmower around. Mom will help you make some flyers. And I would push that mower door to door if I saw anybody's grass high. Yeah. And I would give him the money for the gas and mow some yards. But that was in my teenage years. There wasn't a lot there with my childhood per se. And so as I've reflected and traveled around, a lot of parents, they don't really know what to do with money. And I am grateful for Dave Ramsey and some of the things he's taught, the principles that have helped us get to the place we are. Certainly have a long way to go. And there's certainly a lot of other things out there outside of just his methods and teachings. But in terms of the kids, I remember reading a book. This must have been 8 or 10 months ago. And I was like, you know what? I was like, I don't want my kids to grow up not understanding this world of money. And at least they don't have to understand every little detail of everything, but I want them to have a concept of the purpose of money and how it works and how you earn it and how work and labor and earnings and giving and saving and spending. And so when I came across one of the books that he had written, it kind of lit a fire into me to say, you know what, let's do this. Let's try this. Started doing some research and I was like, Harmonee, like, I need to talk to you. I got an idea here. And it kind of started just as that. Do you remember anything about that conversation or?
Yeah, I remember you coming to me and having read the book. I think you even read a book with the kids as well, just before we started the jars. But it just made a lot of sense because we talked about it, in our educational system. You don't see a lot with money or how to do that. Kids barely even know how to write a check. And how many people have we talked to that said, man, I didn't know anything. I wish they would teach finances in high school. And there just isn't any of that. And on the other side of that is giving. It'd be so much easier if you learn to give when you're younger than when you're older and start thinking about bills. It just, to start knowing that and always doing that, it just makes it a lot easier.
Yeah, totally. And again, for the concept here with the scripture, as our theme verse for the day, Proverbs 22, verse 6, direct your children onto the right path, and when they are older, they will not leave it. Right. Now, again, this is always talked about in terms of things connected to life and family and things connected to what they're going to do in life and discipline and those types of things. We don't really think about it in terms of money, though. But setting a path before them in the world of money. It's interesting that out of all the things that Jesus talked about in all of his teachings, number one was the kingdom of heaven. Number two was money. He talked about money all the time.
Yeah, he did.
And we don't often understand how to teach our children about it. And I'm not saying we have figured out the magic way, but I do think that some of these principles are going to produce. I'm not talking from a way of having been there 30 years ahead of my kids right now and watching them growing up. And these principles worked, but I do think that we have some good things here that are going to be helpful for parents out there today.
Yeah, and I think it's age appropriate for where our kids are at, where they're younger and they don't have to do a lot with money right now, but even at this young age, they can start understanding some of the principles that really are godly principles.
Yeah, for sure. Now, without further ado, I want to just introduce our other two guests on the set today. And the first one here is my oldest son. He's 8 years old, Elisha. Hey, buddy. How you doing?
Good.
Welcome to the set. Are you excited to be here today?
Yeah.
Are you excited to tell people about some of the stuff you've been doing and the hard work you've been doing?
Yep.
Awesome. And then we got our second guest here today. My daughter, Eliana, she is 6 years old. Do you want to say hi, Eliana?
Hi.
So excited to have both of them here today. And now they both have a couple of things that they want to share. We also do this with our third son as well. He's 5, Caden. But we just have the older ones here today on the set. So when we set this up, we first kind of got the infrastructure in place, and we'll talk about that more in a little bit about some of the ways you can do this. I think for less than $40-$50 max, we set all of this up with just a little elbow grease and hard work and $40. We got this whole thing set up, and it's been a lot of fun, actually. So Harmonee, why don't you talk a little bit about the jars and the money jars? You're going to see these right on the table here. And all of our kids have 3 of these.
Yes.
So why don't you talk about those?
Yeah. So what we did is we just got a simple jar. And you can find them really anywhere. I know some people may like ones with coins and stuff, but we actually really like that these you just screw on and off. So just keeps it all in there. and they're not breakable, which is good when you have smaller children. But you can find these for pretty cheap. I think I got 9 for $10 or $15 on Amazon, but really you can pick whatever fits for your family. And then we got Grandma involved, who has a Cricut. And so then she put each of our kids' names on. So we have Elisha and Eliana here with us today. So they have their names on. And then just to kind of personalize them, they all picked a theme. And then Grandma also made special stickers with that theme. Elisha picked kind of a space theme, and Eliana is into unicorns, and so she got some with unicorns. But what I love about them that they're personalized is not only do they have their names on them, but also, let's see, I have one of each. We have a save, we have a give, and we have a spend. And some of them can read. Elisha and Eliana, they can kind of read and be able to see that, but Caden, who just turned 5, cannot read yet. So we have a picture here as well. Like the spend has a little cart on it. The give has a little money, or a hand holding some coins. And then the save has a piggy bank. So they can know what jar their money goes into by the picture or by the words.
Now what you'll need to get going if you want to try doing something like this is each of them will need 3 jars. The 3 themes are give, save, and spend. And each of these areas are met in order on purpose and are designed this way. So what we did is we have our mission to commission chore chart. And we don't really use the word allowance. We use the word commissions because we want to teach them how they can earn a commission. If you don't get paid if you don't work. So they can choose not to do the things on this list and then they don't get paid. But it's their choice to do it. If they want to earn money, they have to do them. So
I will say there's times when they're like, oh, do I have to? I'm like, well, you don't have to, but then you also don't get paid. And so then at that point, they kind of decide like, oh, okay, I'll go do it. So it kind of gives them a choice and to realize that if they want to get paid, then they need to do it.
So the way that we set this up, and you can do this however you want, we followed the exact model that was referenced in the book we read by Dave Ramsey about giving 5 chores to each child each week, and each chore is worth $1. So if they perform all 5 chores for all 7 days across the week, then they can earn $1 for having done that one chore for the whole week. If they miss even one of the 7 days, then they don't get paid for that chore for the week. They have to do all 7 days to do it. We did 5 chores, and Elisha, this is your chore chart. Do you want to tell everybody what your 5 chores are that you have to do every single day?
Sure. So
Here, I can give it to you.
So I have to unload the dishwasher each morning, fold the laundry, clean the table after dinner, and take out the trash and wipe down the counters after lunch.
Awesome. And then Eliana, you have 5 chores you have to do each week too. Do you want to tell everybody what your 5 chores are?
Sure. I have to separate the laundry and fold the laundry, clean the high chair, clean the table after lunch, and wipe down the counters.
That's right. You did a great job. So these are the things they do each day. And if they do this every Monday or Tuesday or whatever day it was, we do payday. And then they get Monday. To Monday. So then they get to earn $5 if they complete all 5 chores. Now, again, if they miss one of these days, then they don't get paid for that thing. Now, we have a priority with the $5 of how they have to put it in the jars. So, Elisha, when you earn $1, where is the first dollar out of all 5 of your dollars go?
It goes to the give.
It goes to the give. So he'll put the $1 into the give. And why do we do the giving first?
Because we always want to give back to Jesus.
Yeah, always going to give back to Jesus first. And so if you only earn $1 for the whole week, it doesn't go in the spend jar and it doesn't go in the save jar. It goes in the give jar. We always give first and give back to God first. Now, on the second $2, this is, again, how we've set it up. What is the second $2, Eliana? Where did those go? You got the give, the save, and the spend.
Save.
And save, that's right. So we put it into the save jar. And the save jar we've designated for bigger purchases. So
$100 for like $100.
Yeah, we set it like $7,500 or more. It's got to be a big ticket item. And ultimately what we're doing with this is teaching them that in order to pay for certain things in life, we're trying to get them out of the method of going into debt and doing credit cards and getting themselves really far into debt, because this messes up people's lives terribly if you research this at all. But by doing this, you're saving for things that you want versus just going and getting it on debt. And so in this area, before we get to the saving part, on the giving element, what type of things, Eliana, have you given to?
The ministry, poor people.
To poor people in the ministry?
And
Where do you bring it sometimes on Sundays?
church.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, and to church. Elisha, what type of things have you given to?
Well, I've done the same thing, church and the ministry. Sometimes strangers, to help them all out and all that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and one time you guys have, maybe you've done it once or twice, but you also gave to help babies.
To save babies' lives. So there's like a little bottle we put the money in to help save babies' lives, so they can get like baby food and stuff for the babies and all that.
Water. Yep.
Yeah, and water.
To a Christian pregnancy center.
Toys.
Yep.
Yeah. And then also outside of just the money area, we'll get to this in just a little bit. They've also given other things as well, but we'll get to that in just a moment. With the saving portion of this, Elisha actually accomplished this mission first. Now, he once again, if you're getting $2 pretty much every single week in your save jar, if you've done every chore, then it takes a long time to be able to make it to $100 plus for a type of item, and so it takes quite a while. So Elisha, he said, Dad, I want to earn money. I want to do something to earn more money than just my chores. And so, Elisha, what type of things have you done in order to increase the amount of money you're making outside of your chores?
So one time I did clean the cars for some money. Thing is, I'm always wanting to earn money and to help get more. So I'll do a lemonade stand in the neighborhood to earn a few dollars and then sometimes I'll do my water business and sell waters at a park. So that helps me make a lot of money.
And how much do you sell the waters for?
$1.
And you'll buy a case.
Yeah, for around $5. So yeah, and sometimes I might help out Dad. So one time Eliana and me were both in the garage, just helping him with the books, just help earn money. So after that, we earned $11. But so yeah, hard work pays off.
That's right. That's great. Mm-hmm. And Eliana, what type of things have you done to earn more money? Because you've done a few things too.
Well, I help you with the books.
Yeah.
And sometimes she does help me She did help me with the $11 thing with the book, with those things. I help Mom sometimes. And the lemonade stand. You helped me with that. Yeah, I sold a water. I only got $1.
But you did sell one. You did sell one. Good job. And you did lemonade.
What did you do last night to earn extra money?
Watch the baby.
Yep. Yeah, watch the baby.
So I got $1.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So they use.
Spend.
Yep. So with those dollars, they put them into their save. And when Elisha wanted to increase his save, now out of the save, again, it's a big ticket item, so they can't touch it ever for anything. And it's first, you put the first dollar into the give, and then the next two go into the save. And so Elisha, a few months ago, finally got to over $100. In fact, I think he got up to around 129, right?
No, the 100. I think it was around like 140.
140, something like that. And so this right here, what is this, Elisha?
A tablet. So I was able to buy with all that hard work I did, I was able to get this tablet. So
Awesome. Now that tablet it represented a long time of work, as well as extra work with the water bottles and lemonade, things like that.
Yeah.
But why did you want a tablet so bad?
Because I could just do a lot of things on it. It was just be a lot of fun to play games on it and stuff like that.
Yeah, and we got to go to Africa.
We only get 30 minutes on it.
Yeah, we only get 30 minutes on it.
So yeah, we went to Africa, and I took pictures of the crowds, people, all the kids. There was so many. The crowds were
Animals.
So big. Yeah. And we went to a safari, and so I took a few pictures on that. But yeah, so it was really fun to have this to be able to go.
He's all kinds
bring
of animals.
it with me. So it was fun to just get all those pictures, and now I can remember it.
Yeah, you had to take all your own pictures. You didn't need to use mom or dad's phone, so it's pretty special to have your own camera, huh?
Got a picture of
Yeah.
it.
And then Eliana just within the last 3 weeks or so, she also used her save money that she's been saving up for a while. And what did you get, Eliana?
Tablet too.
You got a tablet too. Now she decided to get a little bit different tablet than Elisha. Elisha wanted to get ones that had access to a few more things that he was interested in, like chess and things like that.
Yeah,
And
I had chess on it too.
so Eliana's got one that she wanted, and she really wanted the pink case.
No, it was one all the way in it.
Yep, and you got the pink one.
It was all the one in it.
Why did you want a tablet so much?
So I can take pictures and play games.
Yep.
You know.
And have you taken some pictures?
Yeah, a little bit.
What did you take pictures of?
Family,
Family
Mom and Kaden.
and Mom and Caden. Just don't take any of me while I'm sleeping.
I found some of those on my phone.
Oh, I might do it.
You might
Yeah,
do it. So right now they've both chosen to get a tablet, and that's the thing they decided. They could do anything. We just kind of set a rule that it had to be around $75, $100 or more in order to count as a big item. Because there was many times Elisha's like, oh, I want to get this Nerf gun. It's $40. And we're like, nope, it's too small. You can use your other money for that. But like you have to save for this to teach them saving.
And we bought the case and the protective cover for it. So we just...
Yeah. I remember Elisha. I think he was like a few pennies short or a few dollars short of the tax or something. Like we weren't,
Yeah,
we
we're not
just
super,
covered it.
Yeah. So we do that because we don't want them to feel like, they're so close and then to fall short. So they earned it. They bought their tablet, and then we just kind of helped out with the cover.
Yeah, and then we got screen protectors, things like that. Also, so with this, the first dollar goes to the give, the next two go to the save, and then if they do all 5 chores and they earn all 5, then the next $2 go to the
Spend.
spend. That's right. Now the spend is something that they can use whenever they want. They don't have to ask us. Within reason, they don't have to ask us for permission, or like if it's their specific thing that they want to get. Now with that, what are some things that you guys have used your spend money for?
So yeah, we've got a few things.
You see some of them on the table, right?
Yeah.
He's grabbing some out of his pocket.
All right. Yep.
So I did buy this Hot Wheels car with that. I did buy some Nerf guns, but I didn't bring that. But I just brought a few things. So I brought this Nerf gun, and then I've got, and then I buy these things called Dino Smashers. So yeah, I will buy some with my money. So it's kind of nice to have my own thing, so I don't just have to ask mom and dad all the time.
Yeah, and it is nice that they don't have to ask us all the time.
Yes, we
because they ask us. They used to ask us all the time, and I'll say, "Well, you can use your spend money for whatever you want." So now they
And I
are
bought
learning. So Eliana, what have you bought?
I got a toy unicorn.
A toy unicorn?
Came in a big egg.
It came in a big egg. Is there anything else that you remember buying, Eliana?
Yeah, I bought LOL. I bought LOL.
She bought in like an LL doll.
Yeah, and they also bought some. They'll like to buy snacks.
Pokemon pack.
Yeah, they buy some
I
of
got a
the
donut.
cards, like
Yeah, like
collector
I
cards.
I
Pokemon
buy
cards.
donuts.
And
Oh yeah,
donuts.
she did buy donuts.
She bought donuts. They've bought in Pringles. We even
Oh,
had
yes.
Pringles,
Yeah.
where they got their own Pringles because
Yep.
they saw Daddy eating his special chips, so they wanted their special chips.
Yep.
He doesn't let us.
And to play some games at Sky Zone and to buy, I think,
Yeah.
was it an icy or something?
Yeah, stuff like
In
that.
fact, Eliana also learned about debt already because apparently they were out at the store and Eliana really wanted some orange juice, right? And so Elisha had extra money with him. And so she's like, Elisha, if you buy it for me, I'll pay you back.
It was Citrus Tower.
It was Citrus
$4.
Tower at the
Yeah.
Citrus Tower.
Yeah, the
Yep.
special orange.
It's
It was a
juice.
special orange
He
juice
said
from the special store.
$4.
It was $4, and Eliana for the next 3 weeks didn't earn her full chore charts, didn't get all her money, so she kept not earning her spend money back.
Because she kept having to
So it took her 3 weeks to pay off a $4
thing
debt to Elisha.
The thing is, why she had zero money, Mom kept telling us not to waste all our money at Sky Zone, but she decided to keep doing it. So
No.
that's what happened.
So they're learning about the intricacies of debt and all of that as well, which this is the goal of this is to not take them down the debt road. But this just gives you a small taste. It just gives you a small taste of the types of things that you can do that they've done. Again, this is just more like family joining us around the table today, not a professionally produced set.
Yeah.
But Carlos, we give you props for making this look good in here. But
We should talk a little bit about the chores. Too.
yeah, why don't you? If you're looking for ideas on how to select your chores, you heard Elisha and Eliana. But Harmony, you want to talk about that?
Yeah, and sometimes I've had people ask me like, well, I don't know if my kids are old enough, but there's things that they can do that are age appropriate for them. Like Elisha, we have him help unload the dishwasher, and it's been nice too, just for Caleb and I, just to have the extra help with things. And so, he's old enough where he can handle glass dishes
he made us
and
do
can
it.
put that away and tall enough. But I wouldn't have my recently turned 5-year-old do that, but Elisha's old enough to do that. But what's really fun about that is we haven't started our youngest yet, Jeremiah, who is about to turn 3. But even though he's
That's
not
next
actually
birthday.
doing a whole chore chart, he's actually started helping and likes to help his older brother with
Caden.
taking the recycling
Yeah,
out.
and doing putting the waters in the
helping
fridge
waters.
and all
Like Caden, his he has ones like restocking water bottles into the fridge for
Caden
for the
is 4
family.
and he turns 5 now.
Yeah, if you
So
just turned
now
5.
we have 2, 5, 6, and 8.
Yes, very good. And so Jeremiah,
You're
he's starting to help
35,
now
you're
and likes to help bring out the recycling and do water bottles. So I think very soon we could even start him with doing some very simple things, and it also just teaches them how to do it. How many times have you heard in college where someone's like, well, this is the first time I've ever had to do laundry, and learning how to do that? Well, with our kids, they're not quite doing the laundry yet, but they're learning how to sort it into the different piles with whose clothes goes to who, and then we're learning to fold them and match the socks. And so it's really good for just helping them to learn all of that, but it's all age appropriate.
Now, I say all this today with the family. I was praying about what to do for the show, and I'm like, I'm not really sure. Is this super spiritual? And it's like awaken the wonder and all this stuff. And I'm like, what better way just to give the thought to parents? Because even we talked to this idea with Carlos, who's in the studio right now, Carlos and his wife, Carolina. We've talked to our friends, Josh and Alicia. We talked to some of our other family members who have said, wait, what are you guys doing? And people come over and they see our kids' money jars and they're like, wait, what is that? And we've started to realize there's so many parents out there looking for ideas on how to train their kids with money. We've made a commitment to this, and every week, every few weeks, I have to go to the bank and ask to get a bunch of $1 bills so I can pay my kids. And trust me, the kids remind me when it's payday, and I travel a lot. And so sometimes, payday gets off by a day or two, or other people have to help, but we always get it there. The process of this, again, get a few jars. Harmonee spent maybe $10-15 on Amazon for the jars. I found this piece of paper right here, mission to commission online. Somebody else had created it. And with that, I got it laminated at Office Depot, I think for $5-6 for everybody to have one. We went and grabbed some dry erase markers and got a special cleaning solution that we can clean it off each week and start from scratch every single week. Again, $40 to teach our kids about money for the rest of their life. And it's amazing now to watch months later. I've been doing this for probably 6 to 8 months. And now months later, they're saying, hey, the first thing they do when they get any money from anywhere, when they get birthday money, they've earned birthday money. They've earned, people will just randomly give them money. They've earned chore money. They've gotten money in the mail for a birthday or a special relative that'll send them something. And the first thing they do is, all right, one in my give, two in my save, two in my spend. And they just do it instinctively. They know now what happens with their money. What would that be like when they're teenagers, when they're adults, and they're saving up for certain things and big ticket items? I hope that they can avoid the pitfalls that we had to face earlier in life, being $75,400 in debt and not having a clue what we were going to do about it, trying to go off into ministry with loads of debt. I mean, it's crazy to try something like that. And God took care of us and he sustained us. But I hope that they don't have to face those same things we did as they learn and grow now in these areas. And I just encourage you guys, parents, try something like this. You can do whatever you want. But if you're not doing anything, copy us. Try this today. And I'm really curious what your thoughts are, what type of things that you might be interested in sharing and learning. If you've tried anything else, we'd love to learn from your ideas and implement stuff too. But if you don't have anything, try this. Try making it your own. Send us pictures. Send us videos. Send us some ideas that you have for chores. Leave it in the comments. What types of things are you doing with your kids? We'd love to hear. Harmonee, do you have any final thoughts today before we sign off?
Yeah, and this really doesn't have to be something that's super complicated. Just whatever works for you, and just you can even start small, even if it's 1 or 2 chores a week. It just is starting to teach them, and it doesn't have to be $1 if that seems like start the quarter, whatever it is. But it just gets the kids excited and just learning finance at a young age, and so that's what I love about it. It doesn't have to. We don't have to overcomplicate it. It's something that you can just create that works for your family.
Elisha, do you have anything you want to say to the kids that are out there that might want to try to earn something? Maybe their parents are giving them a system like this, or maybe they can't. Their parents can't do something like this, but they might want to try to do other odd jobs or things.
Yeah. As my dad said, if you can't do the chores and all that, there's always other things to do. Like I said, you can help. Clean the car, or do a lemonade stand, or buy a case of water, get a cooler, put the waters in, get ice, and just go down to a park on a nice hot day, and you can be making a lot of money out there.
What's really cool about that too is just to do the water business. He created a business plan and had some steps to do where get water, clean the cooler, get ice in there, and he had all these little steps that he had put to go do that. And so it was also teaching him just the business side of things and how to be an entrepreneur.
Yeah, the last thing I'll say with that part too is when I had this idea with Elisha, he kept wanting to earn money outside of just the chore chart, because he started realizing, wait, I can actually get some things that I want. He's really into Nerf guns, things like that. He might shoot his siblings a little bit more than I would like, even though he's not supposed to. But he's getting better about that. I remember the first time we went down there. It was a real hot Florida day, and he bought his case of water from me for $5, 24 pack or something. And, he could earn $19 of profit if he sold the whole thing. He bought 2, so he wanted to go all in. And I remember we were down there and we were at the park, and I kept telling him, I'm like, Elisha, the first thing you got to do is Proverbs 16:3. Just commit your plans to the Lord and he'll cause them to succeed. And so he was down there, and he had an idea, and he's like, I see some people over there. He's like, I think I might want to try walking over there and talking to them. And what did you do, Elisha, in that moment?
So I committed my plans to the Lord, like my dad said. So, and then I went over to this they're like baptizing people. So I went over. They said, so we already have water over here, and the guy goes, why are you selling waters? So I go, because I want to be a businessman. So and then he buys 2 waters, but he gives me $20, even though it's like. So even though it was $1, every water is $1, but he gave me $20 for only 2 waters. So
that was a pretty good deal, huh?
Yeah, and that day I ended up making, I think, around like $42 or something like that. It was really, it was like 42, 41, something like that. So yeah, if you're ever gonna do something like a lemonade stand or something like that, you may always want to commit your plans to the Lord. So if you commit your plan to the Lord, he'll cause them to succeed.
Yeah, no, it's great. And he does this now. I see him do this a lot with all kinds of things. If he has an idea or a desire for anything, he'll just say, I'm like, well, what's your plan? And he'll be like, well, I want to go talk to those people over there. I'm like, all right, what are you going to do next? And he's like, all right, God, I commit my plan to you. My plan is to go talk to those people. So I commit this to you, and you'll cause it to succeed. And then he'll go over there, and then something happens, and he's like, wow, this was cool. And so now the next thing he always does is, thank you, Jesus, for helping me. Mm-hmm. So it's cool to watch the growth of my 8-year-old son learning this now. And so I know it's going to be with all of my kids as they adventure out and do more things as well. But they've done this with lemonade stands too. People give them $5 for a glass or $20 for a cup.
Something one time kind of happened that was actually kind of funny. So we're like out there in our neighborhood just doing lemonade stand. So a big cup of lemonade would cost 50 cents and a small would be 25. So a guy came over at some point, gave us a $20 bill, and the funny thing was he didn't buy anything, no lemonade, nothing. So he didn't buy any lemonade. So then next off is another person comes over, he gives us $5, and he still didn't buy any money. Didn't buy any lemonade. So, and then another person comes over, they gave us $1, and they didn't buy any lemonade. So, like, we ended up making $26, and no one bought anything.
Yep.
That's a pretty good day. See, they committed the plan of lemonade to the Lord, and he caused it to succeed.
If I remember right, I think that was the day where they came back, and I think your pitcher was empty because they had drank the lemonade along with the neighbor kids.
They drank their product, yeah. So they got more to learn with business. But anyways.
I told him no more, and he's like, yeah, more.
You're sharing.
He liked the lemonade.
Well, I hope this has been an encouraging episode for you today. This is one of the fun things we've been doing for months, and we just wanted to kind of let you into our home and let you be a part of this. But again, please share anything you've learned as well, things you're trying with your kids. This is just a tool. It's not the end-all, be-all of everything, but I do hope this encourages you today. Until next time, guys, I hope this helps you awaken the wonder of your relationship with Jesus and your journey with your family to be more profitable in the future. Again, commit these things to the Lord. He'll cause them to succeed. Direct your children onto the right path, and when they're older, they will not depart. We're banking on this verse in Jesus' name. God bless you guys. Until next time, we'll see you next week.